Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Quick Blog podcast, a podcast with an Australia fan, an India fan, plenty of banter, plenty of opinion, and some analysis as well. And we're here today to review an incredible and memorable day one of the Boxing Day test, a day I think we'll remember for ages. We'll talk all about it. And Nash appears to be in an airport lounge. Now, Nash,
Yes,
you fling
yes.
the country after Sam
Uh,
Konstas today. A bit of a incredible reaction on your part.
no, don't count your stars yet. Don't count your stars yet. I'm still coming back. No, I'm just going for holidays to India and going to be getting up at 5:30 in the morning to watch the test match
Mm,
now. Um,
yep.
no, but yeah, I am in the airport lounge at Melbourne Airport right now. So, but yeah, what a day. It was hot. It was humid. It was sweaty. It was sticky. Um, and yeah, Sam Konstas stuck.
He did
He's
stick.
stuck. He's stuck to India.
Yeah.
Really bad. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was at the stadium and it looked like the first, let's say, 5 overs. It was like, what is this guy doing? He can't get back to ball.
Yep.
He must be just counting his stars, just feel lucky that he's there. But then after that, I think he was just given the full license to just go and express himself, and boy, he expressed himself.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, the narrative or the instruction was we need something different. That's why he was brought into the team in terms of how to handle Bumrah, but no one could have expected this reverse scoop.
And
I think it was the 11th ball he faced or the 10th ball, and it
yeah,
just missed middle and off stump. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, he gets that's why it was a gutsy innings because you get out in that fashion 10 balls in. Can you imagine the scrutiny that this
oh,
kid would be facing from the media,
but I
from
think,
the public?
but I
It'd be,
think,
yeah.
I think that's what I was thinking is, and that is what most teams, captains, team management now have like will be saying to their players is, there's so much noise on social media.
Yeah.
I'm sure Pat Cummins and Andrew McDonald must have told Sam Constas, just forget about everything. You're 19.
Yeah.
Here you are playing Boxing Day Test match against one of the best bowlers cricket has ever seen. Just go out there, enjoy yourself, and just hit the ball. Just see the ball, hit the ball, and yeah, that's what he did because that's the thing because he must have been told you were given two Test matches, show us what you got. You got here in Sydney, and he knows that he's going to play two test matches at the moment. Even if he gets dropped, he's 19. He'll go back to Sheffield Shield for 2 years, score loads of runs and then come back again. So there's a long road ahead of him.
Yep.
And but I'll also like to point out all the sort of the hoopla that was going around around his innings. Um, and then these things happen and Sam Constas in the after-match post-match interview also said that these things stay on the field, which is very mature for a 19-year-old. um wasn't expecting that at all from someone like Virat Kohli.
That was
uh
pretty poor, wasn't it?
and I'm pretty sure because it's Virat Kohli it went down the way it did. But also I read a tweet from a good friend saying because it's Virat Kohli, he will be the first one to go to Sam Constas and say, look, I was wrong. Yeah, you played a really good innings. And we all know, look, you might not agree with me, but there's countless, accounts from different players and different teams saying this stuff happens on the field. And then last but not the least, Australians should be the last people to give
Here we go
morality
again
lectures.
with the Australian
Of
lectures
course.
again. I don't
Of course, I'm
see
going to say that.
just because something happened 20 years ago doesn't mean we justify Virat Kohli barging into a 19-year-old. Like that's that argument is tiresome that no one can
I'm
talk
I'm
about
not
it
saying
because
it's
things
not
happened
wrong.
20 years ago.
I'm not saying it's not wrong. I'm saying it's wrong. I'm saying it's wrong. He
Well,
should be
then leave it
punished,
at
and
there,
he
I
was
reckon.
punished. He was punished. That's what I'm saying. But the I'm not saying to you. I'm saying, Ricky Ponting, for God's sake, is saying, he did that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's his job. I know that
but
it's
Ricky
his job.
Ponting's only describing what's happened. He's not doing
I've seen
anything
I've seen his
wrong.
post match interview. I've seen his post match interview. I've seen his commentary. But yeah, anyway, I mean, we could be here all night. I mean, I'll
No,
miss my flight, but
and
yeah.
then what I see from like Rev Sport Global and that Konstas is at fault as well. He moved and Kohli's
Look,
gone and he knows
think
what he's doing. Let's just it was disgraceful from Kohli though. I expected better from him. He's been a terrific
yeah,
player, but
and
you're going after a
everyone did,
19-year-old. Yeah, it was pretty
and
poor
everyone
taste.
did, and he's been punished for that. So yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, poor taste. I thought that ridiculous. Man, 19-year-old, you rattled very quickly.
I mean,
And
look, come on.
anyway,
I wouldn't say you're rattled. I wouldn't say they're rattled. He
100% they
scored
were.
he scored a 60. Come on. Don't behave like he scored a 260. He scored a
I'm not
60.
behaving. So what does that say about your player who barges into a 19-year-old after
That he
scoring,
made
not
a
even
dick
scoring a
move. That
60?
he made a dick move. That's what I'm saying. But don't say that an international team who has had a better of you for the last 10 years is rattled.
Well, explain to me why would he do it then?
To show him that that's Test cricket.
No,
Have you forgotten how
that's
Virat
not Test
Kohli
cricket.
was?
That's not
Have
Test
you
cricket.
look? Have you
That's not any
forgotten
cricket.
how? I mean, have you forgotten how Virat Kohli literally how everyone in the Australian media, everyone in the Australian crowd targeted Virat Kohli back in 2011,
Again,
12,
you're coming back with
2014.
things 13, 4. I'm talking about this incident here. Those things were wrong. This is wrong as well. Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No, no, that
How
you
was
just
how?
okay.
I'm not explaining myself.
No, but you said that it was wrong what he did, but then you said, oh, he's showing him this is Test cricket. So those two things can't be true. You said he's not rattled, but then he walks into him. He didn't walk into McSweeney once because McSweeney wasn't threatening as much as Konstas was.
But
Konstas
I
took
wouldn't say,
India.
look, come on.
Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, we'll keep
we can
talking.
go off about this, but I'm saying it's okay for an Australian or anyone to bring up and talk about an incident. And then the only thing was, oh, we could do it because,
I'm not
25 years ago
I'm
you
not
did this.
saying,
And
look, honestly, I'm not
anyway,
saying it's not okay. I'm not saying it's not okay. I'm saying it's about the morality lecture that's been given. I mean, if you read the statements, it sounds like we are taking the higher ground. That's what I'm saying. It's not about saying what happened on the field. It's about what they say after that.
are we being morally superior? Are we just talking about? We're just calling it as it is. Do we want Australians to say silent? Like a 19-year-old debutant has been shouldered on a cricket field, and we want you expect us to stay quiet? Is that what it
But
is?
I'm not. That's what I'm saying, Charbel. I'm not saying you have to stay quiet.
Okay, so what do you want us to do?
I'm saying not you, but I'm saying these
Australians.
ex-cricketers, yeah, ex-cricketers behaving like they have never done this or they
Oh,
might never do this
I, I
again.
I don't
I
know if
mean,
I've
come
got
on.
that vibe. I don't know if I've got that vibe, but anyway, I think look, we can both agree at the end of the day that it wasn't great from Virat today, and there's a lot of justification for his
I
action
mean,
in parts of
Virat
social
himself
media. But
will
anyway,
agree with that. So yeah.
look, I'd like to talk more about Konstas' superb approach. I mean, look, it's an innings fraught with risk. Let's be real, but what an approach! It's gutsy because, as I said before, that doesn't come off, and the scrutiny and the criticism that you'd face as a 19-year-old would be immense. But I
Yep.
don't think he even thought of that. No regard for that. So look, I've got to take Bumrah on because we've been struggling in this series in the top order, getting him away. We've got to do something different to try get him away. But no one could have expected this, the reverse scoops. And when the third man came in, then he went, backed away and targeted the mid on and mid off. And then, the gully region as well. It took Bumrah for 14 off and over and then 18 off and
Yep.
over. That doesn't happen. And a
Yep.
19-year-old doing it. Gutsy stuff. And we've got a
And
serious player. Right.
and look, the where India lost today's day would be after all that happened, after Bumrah got hit for so many runs, somehow Bumrah was still the best bowler. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. He
You
came
know what
back
I mean?
strong.
Like
Yeah.
because and that's where the other bowlers got to show up. You know, that's where you can't just. I mean, Rohit Sharma has bowled Bumrah into the ground this series. It's
Interesting
not
that
looking.
just a question on Bumrah. Do you think he sort of changes the length too quickly? Didn't persist with the top of off stump length to Konstas.
Look,
Um,
I don't think the top fourth was going to work for long. The way Konstas was going, I mean, he was looking, he was feeling it like football. You know, he
hmm.
was. hitting the ball to all parts of the ground,
Yeah.
because when it was pitched up, he smacked it down the ground. When it was Yorker, he smacked it up through the slip. So he played really well. But what I mean is, it was more like they had to bring out their T20 plans,
Mm.
rather than just stick to their test plans. But one thing for sure is, and I've seen comments from experts saying, "Oh, why they're not trying in swing and this and that." Thing is, it was so hot today. I was sitting I was sitting like I spoke to many people, and I was sitting in the stands, and I mean, just sitting was so exhausting. I can't even
Mm.
imagine what's happening playing out there. It was 39 degrees. The good thing though, the sun wasn't out for long. It was
That helped. Yeah.
yeah, it was cloudy, it was overcast, but it wasn't swinging conditions as such. There was not much in the pitch happening. Um, but yeah, from a Constas point of view, as an Australian fan, does this give you a lot of confidence going forward in your opening stocks? And also, do you think this Constas approach will take him far?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm confident he'll have a very good career. He's a very, very talented player. Whether this approach will work all the time, I don't think it will. But I think if you're selective about it and you pick your moments, then there can be merit to it. But as a 19-year-old, you always know that there's always going to be improvement and room for growth because he was out to left arm spin today, and he was out to left arm spin, I think, both of the innings in the BBL as well. So, if he goes to Sri Lanka, which I expect he will do, you're going to be facing Prabhav Jayasuriya at Gaul. So you're going to have to really adjust and learn how to play left arm spin. And it's
Yep.
all going to be a learning curve for him. It's going to be days where this sort of approach doesn't come off. But
Yep.
I was really impressed with his approach today. Absolutely. Like just the guts to be able to say, look, we've been dominated by Bumrah. The top orders found it really, really difficult, but I'm going to take it upon myself to go for it. And it worked. It worked today. It won't always work, but he's just a confident player that it won't phase him too much and he'll come good.
Look, I think I'll make a prediction after today. From what I've seen of Constas, it's a personal prediction. It's a biased prediction, but I don't think this approach will work in the second innings, or even in Sydney. Um, that's a hope, but I think I'm hoping Bumrah obviously will come up with certain plans, certain different plans, and like what a class act Bumrah is. We all know
Of course
that.
I do.
So
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he's not going to go down quiet. Um,
Yeah, he won't.
and
Yeah, it was certainly he was probably. I thought he was caught by surprise, as were India,
yes,
as was everyone
everybody
in the
was.
ground. The
Yeah,
commentators, I was caught by surprise. Everybody was. It was just an incredible show of guts. I
it's
felt
just
because
yeah,
yeah, if it doesn't come off, man. But he wasn't thinking
yeah,
about that, Sam Constas,
yeah.
and he's a big
And
talent.
that's the thing that the credit for that goes to Pat Cummins really, and the team management. And George Bailey for that matter is, just, I mean, you can't tell me a 19-year-old goes out there on his own and does that. I mean, he has to have the backing of,
He's
the
got a
team
lot of
management,
confidence. Yeah,
selectors,
that's
they've
true.
given him that confidence to just go out there, express himself, just do what you do best and bat, because it's a big moment, it's a big occasion.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. Well, what I
Um,
will say about Constas as well is though that even in his twin hundreds for New South Wales against South Australia earlier this season, it was very patient batting. So he's got that
yeah.
in him as well. Is that's how he really introduced himself onto the scene. That's how he really
Mm,
garnered his attention. It's that the patient batting, not striking. Yes, I think he struck about 45 in his second innings, 100 about 55, 60 in his first innings. So it wasn't outrageous, but since then, he's really come of age. I think he's grown in a lot of confidence since that time. He had a bit of a tough time for Australia A against India A, but he hit a second innings 70 in that game. And then he hit a ton in that tour game against India, hit some runs in the Big Bash, hit some more runs in the Shield. He's just growing in confidence.
yeah.
And I'll be really fascinated to see how he approaches different innings throughout his career and playing according to the situation. Because you've got the England fans coming out and saying, oh, Australians like baseball all of a sudden. They've come
Oh,
out,
I mean,
made it about
I
them.
was absolutely. I was on Twitter, and every single English account was out of the woodwork. and
Yeah,
everyone
it's
was
it's
like, "Oh,
interesting
look,
because yeah, I mean it's you got one guy doing it. It's a way of handling Bumrah. And the thing with Bazball, I said it. I go, not every player does it in our team. You look at Khawaja today and Labuschagne and Smith. They all consolidated and batted time and ensured Australia
the
got to a
thing is,
decent score.
the funniest thing is they behave like they invented this kind of batting,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
they haven't.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I mean, Gilchrist has done that. Matthew Hayden has done that. You know, Chris Gale, Virendra Sehwag. I
yeah.
mean, there's been plenty of batters who have done that
Yeah,
before
yeah,
this.
and they go we slag off Bazball, but we don't. We slag off Bazball because a lot of the time they don't play according to the situation,
Yeah.
and they don't win the big series. And
Yep.
World Test Championship. Look, they haven't made the top two, and yeah, they can lose
But
games that they should win,
I
and
mean,
this
at
sort of
least
stuff.
they entertain. At least they entertain, don't they?
Yeah, that's what they can live by. But on to
Whatever makes them
Khawaja.
sleep at night.
Yeah, whatever makes them sleep at night, I suppose. But on to Khawaja, Labuschagne, Smith, I thought they were playing well. I
Yes.
thought Labuschagne played particularly nicely. Khawaja had his moments, but he didn't have to worry too much about the scoring rate because of Konstas, what he did. And I thought Smith was looking really good again. And I'm really happy with Smith because he got that 100 in the last test, but he's backed it up with another good innings in the next
Yep.
test. You don't want it to be a one-off. When you've had a bit of a
Yep.
rough form and you get that good innings, you don't want it to be a one-off. He's come back and scored well.
And
But
do you
yeah.
think do you think Manas, Marsh, and Khawaja, those um those three wickets were the ones that fell on
Yeah, I was
false shots. Like
disappointed.
they were not really good balls. The
Yeah,
batters made
gave it
the
away.
mistakes. And do you
Oh,
think that has put Australia in a position where they could have been like 350 for three, maybe?
we could have really been dominant. We had India on the mat and really could have driven home the advantage, but I still would prefer our position. I was saying this to you that we've got over 300 on
Yes,
the board.
absolutely. Yeah.
We still got Smith there, and we saw what that, Akash Deep did to Alex Carey with that second new ball. Nip and bounce. There is still something in this pitch, and I expect it will break up more as the game goes on, given the hot conditions. I think there'll be more sunshine tomorrow, although it won't be as hot. And it'll be good conditions right throughout the test. So I think batting last is not going to be easy here. So Australia have got, hopefully we can get towards that 400. I
Yep.
hope Pat Cummins and Mitch Stark can really hang in there, and Steve Smith can go on and get a ton from here. That'd be great. But yeah, you're right. Could have been three for 350, but there's going to be more pressure on Mitch Marsh now. We've been scoring, but we talk about his lack of runs and not bowling.
Do you think he still plays the fifth test?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
I think he does because they
Still no
really
Paul
like
Webster.
him. They really like him. That's why.
I mean, he has had a good year. He hasn't had a really bad year.
This year he's averaging 20 in this calendar year. So it's not a good year. When you look back at last year,
Yep.
yes, he did well. But this year, and he's not bowling, there's got to be question marks, right? And Australia scored over 300 without Travis Head scoring a run. So we were told in the last test that Australia only relying on Travis Head. It wasn't the case today, but Bumrah got the tactics right. We spoke about it in the preview. The way to bowl to Travis Head is you go around the wicket and you aim at the stumps and you try and nip the ball either way. And Bumrah was still getting that ball. That ball was, 67th over, and it nipped back and hit the top of off.
Yep.
That just goes to
Yep.
show the
And
class of the bowler and what movement is still there in the pitch if you bowl well.
absolutely. But look, I think again, poor captaincy, poor bowling from the other end. I mean, we have spoken
Talk to me
about
about
this.
Siraj because a lot of people have been saying his average has been as good as Cummins in this series, and we're being a bit too hard on him. But I think today shows why that he's been a bit under par since Perth.
But look, the thing is, you can't look at the stats. I mean, you have to actually
Exactly.
watch the game, isn't it? You actually have to watch the
Exactly.
game, and most of the people out there have watched the game because he hasn't backed those numbers up with actual good bowling.
So he could
Um,
he could he could take three of the final four wickets to fall, finish with three for
yep,
85, and they say, "Oh, look, he averaged 30. These are decent figures." But
yep.
when it
And the
really
thing is, I still
counted,
don't understand, and I
yeah,
still don't understand why he's getting the new ball. To be honest, because Akashdeep has done enough to get the new ball in Shami's absence.
interesting.
So absolutely, Shami and Bumrah should be bowling the new ball. There's no question about that, and that's the poor captaincy and poor management I'm talking about
Interesting.
because Suraj. I mean, you've played three different spinners, four different spinners in the series. You've played fast bowlers at the wrong pitches. Akashdeep should have played Adelaide. for example, and you played Harshit Rana, although he bowled well at Perth, but he hasn't played since.
Yeah,
I mean, he did play Adelaide, but yeah,
yeah,
and that's the thing, because you haven't picked the right teams at times.
yeah.
And don't make me start on Shubman Gill as well. I mean, I have no
So that
clue
was what I
why
was
he's
going to
got.
ask you. So what have
I
you
have no
made of
clue.
what have you made of the Indian team combination and selection before we round off?
Now I saw Abhishek Nair, who's the batting coach, or who's been working with the Indian team, saying uh, that Rohit Sharma might open tomorrow, which is again preposterous, because Rohit Sharma's opening. Who's batting? Why is this happening? I have no clue.
I mean,
I
KL
mean, I
Rahul is going to
absolutely
go
no
to
clue.
three, is what I've been hearing.
Yeah, but why?
That would make
Why?
no sense given that what Rahul has done in the opening position in this series. He's been
I
your
mean,
best
Rohit
player.
Sharma is just trying to fit into the team right now. I mean, he doesn't fit into the team
That
at
is
all.
true. I will agree with you on that. They're trying to fit him in, and it's not working.
I
But
mean, he has to go. Like, I'm not. I mean, sorry, Rohit Sharma fans, but he doesn't fit into the team.
yeah, yeah, they're trying to shoehorn him in, and yeah, if you put KL Rahul at three, that would be an interesting decision given what Rahul has done at opener in this series. Been very
Absolutely.
solid up there. When conditions are typically most difficult to play with the new ball, he's been very good. Um, yeah, interesting one. Anyway, we had a bit of rugby today. We had a bit of everything on Boxing Day. Great day of cricket. Fascinating day. I'm looking forward to day two, and thankfully the weather's great. It really shapes up to be a very interesting test because if Australia can get up towards that near 400 mark, puts India under a lot of
I
pressure.
mean, before we go, I mean, we have said that. I've said this enough already for the first three tests. Indian batting has to step up this time.
Yeah,
If they don't, it's I, I don't know. I'm just a hopeless romantic at this point for
yeah.
Indian batting. But yeah, let's see what happens.
Well, look, I was told that the MCG and the SCG is where India step up and they've got the advantage. So it's on you guys now to show it. Indian fans have been
Exactly.
talking the big game after the Gabba. I want to see because I've been telling you in the preview that it hasn't been the same India team in terms of the batting solidity that we've seen in the previous Border Gavaskar Trophy series. Let's see what you guys are made of, but it promises to be very interesting. And yeah, the Aussie bowlers have got to be on it. Get that ball nice and full.
I
There's enough
mean,
nip
we,
there with
we
the new
still
ball.
before that we still have to wait for Mitchell Stark to score a 60.
Oh, that'd be
Um,
nice. Wouldn't that be
we have
beautiful?
to. I mean, we have
Steve
to still
Smith
wait for Steve
ton,
Smith's 100. We have to wait for Scott Boland to
Scotty
bowl as well.
bowling at the G. I can't wait, mate. This is going to be good. I'm excited. I'm excited, and we'll see. You're going to be up at 5:30 tomorrow after a long flight, and hopefully there's a bit of pain dished out by Scotty Boland and co. Thanks, everyone. Thanks. You can
Thank
follow us
you.
on Crickblog Pod on X and Instagram, Crickblog TV on YouTube, Spotify and Apple, wherever you get your audio podcasts. You can hear us there. Nash, have a very safe flight. I'll speak to you when you land, and we'll do this again tomorrow. This time you'll be in India, and we'll see how
Yes.
day two pans out. Thanks,
See
guys.
ya. Thanks.